Hey everybody, we back again.
We back.
All right. I'm Spencer. Of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist, Nas.
Dr. Nas. I think I'm about done saying that. I'm worn out on saying it now. You know, it's a thing. Everyone says it in the office now. They're like, "What's up, doc?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right."
won't get it from here. That's for sure. All right. This is the Different Spectrums podcast where we talk about movie shows and the mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do. That's up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So,
Get good thumb. Just one good thumb.
moving on from that. So today, as you can see, we have a special guest for today. They are a therapist and they are here to have a good time with us. Have a great time. Please welcome Adrienne to the show. Welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I'm Adrienne. My pronouns are they, them, and I can't wait to chat.
Awesome. Look at that.
Yes. They're lying.
Who?
It might be.
Liar. Oh.
I'm asking. You'll never know.
Whoa. Right. So today we are taking a look at a show called Heartbreak High. We are going to be talking about sensory overload, being misdiagnosed for panic attacks, and also regulating anxiety with a bunch of other topics that we're going to cover today. We are going to be taking a look at this show. But yeah, and can't wait to get into it. So, Nas, anything before we get into the show?
I'm excited to have Adrienne on today. I know I sent out a lot of DMs a while ago, and sometimes I get some stuff confused. I'm glad everything worked. We had some technical difficulties today. I'm gonna blame that on Bobby. No, I'm gonna blame that on Bobby. Fuck Bobby.
Bobby always ruining things.
Bobby, the tech guy. He's a tech guy. This Bobby.
It looks like it's his fault.
Bobby got a cowboy hat.
Freddy Krueger.
That's Freddy Krueger. I thought that was like Woody from Toy Story.
No. I would hope that's not Woody, or else I'd be scared.
No.
Well,
It's a different show.
He's in your dreams.
He's in your dreams, girl. Start saying that to everyone. So excited to do this one. I think this will be a different perspective that we've hit. We've hit panic attack disorder. We've hit multiple different things on how it can affect folks. We've done one overstimulation video on Mo very long time ago from Netflix series. Individual was neurodivergent on the spectrum, had a meltdown because they kept getting pushed at work. And so I'm excited to do this one because this is very accurate in what people experience. And I'm glad that Adrienne brought this up because I have not heard of this show. I'm actually kind of excited to watch some of this now because I'm sure many of my other queer and neurodivergent folks on the spectrum would enjoy this. So this will be in the tool belt moving forward. So let's talk about it. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Ooh, don't make me do that. Sorry, I was like, whoop.
You read the script. You know it's in the script.
I know. I did the whoop, but then you pointed at me.
Do the whoop.
There's two whoops.
There it is. I know. Two of them.
Got it. Oh my God, I'm sweating now.
You nervous?
Oh, there goes that mask.
There goes. Gone.
Gone.
Now we're just gonna have to do this.
I'm so sassy now. One finger snap. I'm sassy. Okay. We're done now. Thank you, people. I'm keeping that all in there. It's funny.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching our show today. We just wanted to take some time to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Cat and Raven Design. They are a small queer-owned business that specializes in LGBTQ plus pride soaps. They have great designs, some that even look good to eat, but don't. You can get 10% off your entire order if you use the code DSP or go to our link tree. Help support this great small business and help give back to a great community.
Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late. You weren't waiting long, are you?
No, I'm not.
Cool. I can't believe you haven't been here before. Okay, so you want to avoid the samosas, but the rotis are amazing. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Do you want to go grab us a table and I'll get some water?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Sorry, where do I get a table? Sorry.
Just grab any free one.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to my cellulite palace of wonders. What eviscerated animal can I deep fry for you this evening?
Bacon burger.
Yep, do you
And then so my parents were like, you should get a job at an NFP over the holidays. And I was like, yeah, I kind of did that last semester. And I wasn't really sure about doing it again because I'm just... Charities misrepresent marginalized communities. Anyways. What do you think about the rentals?
They're good. What were you saying?
Oh, just that. You know, I wasn't really sure what you were
Anytime.
Hey, thanks for tonight. Gonna go.
Okay. Darren!
You're good. No scam. Dusty's parents have cash flow. This stuff is so exy.
Do you think it'd be weird if I try to make out with Dusty smelling like his mom?
Darren! Darren!
What's wrong? Quinny.
I was trying to listen. Like, at the date, I was trying so hard, but there was the lights
It's
and the
okay.
people and the
Deep
sound.
breaths.
Every time I tried to talk or tried to listen or tried to focus, Sasha would look at me like I was weird, and I like her so much. I really wanted this to work. Like, so badly. And I just can't ever do anything like this.
It's okay.
I can't.
No touching the Quinny. You look great. Why don't you go trap some dick? You know where to find us, yeah? Look at me. Okay, we live in this bathroom now.
Então você veio. Talvez eu deva me desculpar por ter me doado por inteiro. Por não ter me perdoado. Depois de tantos quase, enfim.
Okay. I think I'm good to go now.
Stunning. Where is Emily?
Down the tree. It's okay. I've got this.
Hey, I thought you liked me.
I do like you.
Well, then why did you act like you didn't?
I didn't mean to. It just happens to me sometimes. I freeze up and I forget how to speak, and it just happens when I'm stressed out.
Oh, I stress you out.
No, you don't stress me out. You make me anxious and so excited, and
You could try showing it instead of acting like I bore the
you
shit out
don't
of you.
bore me.
Really, because the entire night your face was like you couldn't even look
I'm
at me.
autistic. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, I'm autistic. I have autism, whatever you want to say.
No, but how did I not know this?
I'm pretty good at masking, putting on a face, pretending most of the time.
Yeah, but you don't... Like, you're not... Like, I've met autistic people.
Okay.
And you're, like, really emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
And so I just thought...
Okay, see ya.
No, just Quinny. I'm sorry. I clearly need to do more research, but I think you're really cool, and you're different to anyone I've ever met, and that's why I like you.
You have a face that looks like it would be very nice to kiss, but you have a very, very shit taste in restaurants.
Okay, well then why don't you try it?
Try what?
This.
Hey everyone, I wanted to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Two Nerds Candle Company. Not only do they have great products, but they are also giving back to a great cause. You can tell that they take a lot of pride in making their candles. My favorite is Spock's Monday Coffee. They are also donating 10% annually to support Women in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You can use our code DSP or go to our link tree to get 20% off your entire order. We think that this company is great, and we think you will too. So go check them out. And we back.
We back again, people. No funny jokes because I can't think of anything because my brain has crashed just like my computer. So we
Nice.
back. We alive. We've made it. Hallelujah. That's all I got.
Wow. Nice. Medea. Nice. All right. So before we get to our guests, shout out to all of our great collaborators, such as Bub's Naturals, Cure Hydration, Pinfinity, Silver Dollar Candle, Two Nerds Candle Company, Cat and Raven Company, and now Twink Toys.
Toy, like tiger, toy.
Not gonna get into what I think about that name. Go to our link tree, which is in our Instagram profile, and you can get up to 20% off all of our collaborators. You know what? Give them money. Give us money. Do it. That's all I got for that. All right. So that's how you do a plug. So Adrienne, you are our guest for today. Right?
This is so weird.
I'm
This is
such an
so
asshole. All
fucking
right,
weird.
I'm sorry. So Adrienne, tell us a little bit about you and what made you want to come on to the pod.
Well, I think Dr. Nas reached out to me and I got so excited to think about like a scene in a movie or a TV show that would explain an experience. I absolutely love that.
Mhm.
So I am an LCSW. I've been a therapist for the last 11 years. I specialize in working with autism, OCD, and ADHD, and I primarily work with queer folks. So that's my passion, and I like to educate people on Instagram. I feel like I got to do it that way, right? Like I can't be like, but it's a great way for me to info dump, you know?
Mhm.
I get to
Right.
like,
Yeah.
so anyways, Dr. Nas reached out and I got so excited to do this.
Awesome. Well, what made you want to get into the field with people who are autistic?
So that actually came later on. I originally got in to private practice and was focusing on anxiety, OCD, and then moved into getting more specialized into ADHD. And then some of my clients were realizing they thought they were autistic. Actually, one of my clients like gave me, I don't want to share too much, but like gave me a bunch of info. And I was like, oh, I need to do research on this. And then I was like, oh, I'm autistic.
Yeah.
And then I went and got an assessment. I was like, oh, so naturally I spent 6 months learning everything I possibly could and like everything, like hours and hours and hours and hours. And it was like so fascinating. And then a lot of my clients ended up also having autism. And so I was like, yes.
There you go.
Right.
By happen chance, did you get the flu shot?
Like the vaccine.
Do you know that why you probably got autism? So
Mhm.
let's obviously for everyone that is listening, all of you know that's bullshit and I'm joking, but I just think it's funny.
No, I remember when that was a thing.
I know it's a thing, but also my client, wonderful young human, I'm like, okay, kid, you're autistic. And then after a couple months, I said, did you get your booster? And they go, oh yeah, I got my booster. I'm double autistic now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's why I love my clients. That's
I
great.
know, I'm telling you. They were like, yeah, this is the thing. People think this. I was like, I know. So, sorry, I digress. I thought it'd be funny. Sorry if it offended anyone, but not really. So, autism was a thing, but what age did you figure it out? I guess that's the question. Then I'll give it back to Spencer. What age did you figure it out at?
Like this last year, like about a year ago.
Is it okay if you share your age or no?
Oh yeah, I'm 34.
34.
So
Okay,
33-ish. So my client figured out they were autistic and they're like sharing all the info. And then I was like, oh.
Wait a minute. It was just like that Spider-Man meme. Just
Definitely late, but I had been curious about it several years earlier and brought it up to a therapist when I was like 29, no, when I was like 30. And I was like, I think I might be autistic. And she's like, maybe. And then I just like never followed through with it because I was like, there's no, I would know. I would know. So then when it got brought up again, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know I am. This is like, it's kind of like you knew, but you don't know. It's like kind of like being gay. Sometimes you just know, sometimes you like know, but you don't know. It's like, yeah, it's a thing.
Sometimes Instagram tells you. It's been telling me some shit lately. I'll tell you that.
I don't know. You might need to listen.
that algorithm.
Algorithm knows. What?
The commercials be telling me, boy.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Commercials think I got a heavy flow, I guess. Because I don't know why I get these commercials.
It'll listen to my sessions with my clients and then give me advertisements and stuff based on what I've talked to my clients about.
Oh wow.
That makes more sense because I talk about all that stuff all the time. There you go.
Yep, there you go.
So I'm like,
They're
I ain't
listening.
clicking on nothing. So I have to follow up then.
Yeah, go for it.
So you're 29. You brought up to the therapist. Did they say anything like, or did they validate, or like, oh, tell me more about that, or did they just think you were joking?
She was like, yeah, I guess you could go get that assessed. Like it was kind of like didn't really like take it very seriously. And I was like, no, I think something's really wrong. I think something's, like I think I have some of the things. She was just like, so it didn't give me any resources. I didn't really know what to do or where to go, especially like low support needs, it was adult autism, like no one really knows how to assess it. We're getting better at it now, but yeah, she was just like, I don't know. So I just let it go.
Interesting. I remember telling my supervisor in supervision, I was like, I think I'm autistic. And they're like, no, you're not. You're fine. You're like super social and like you're good at talking, emotions and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then I'm like, a couple years later, I'm like, I know I'm autistic now. And then it didn't get fully validated till I was here in Lafayette working at Purdue. And I was in a book club. And one of the dudes in it was on the spectrum. And I said a few things. He's like, yeah, dude, you're spectrum-y as shit. I'm like, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Autism Jesus.
Autism.
And then did you sit in bed at night and think about everyone you met in your life and how they're probably autistic too, certain ones? And you're like, wait, well, they're autistic too.
He's been known who's autistic in his life. He knows.
Like, I already knew ahead of time. I just didn't realize that we're all attracted to each other as friends and romantic partners because we're all autistic as shit. So that was fun.
I had partners too, and I'm like, I think you're autistic. No, I am.
No, it's a thing. Yeah. It's just like Pokemon. As soon as you're one of them, you just collect them all.
Birds of a feather.
Spencer's just like, shut the fuck up.
Like Pokemon, you just gotta catch them all. I'm the
all.
Ash Ketchum of autistic people.
I was
Gotta
talking
catch
to a
them all.
client the other day, and then we gotta get back to the introduction. Talking to a client, and they go, I said, if you're spectrum kid, I'm telling you, this is after did a lot of stuff, did some trauma-based therapy, right, some processing. I'm like, at the end of all this now, we're gonna talk about this autism thing, and they're like, you think it's a thing? I said, yeah, but it's from mom and dad, and they're like, we tend to partner with each other, so it could be both of them. They said, what do you mean we partner with each other? Yeah. So my partner's getting diagnosed with autism right now. I said, there you go.
Yes, it's an actual thing.
There you go. Some statistics on it. Okay. Back on track. But they talked about your clients and all that stuff. Spence, continue prompting.
Thank you. So I mean, what is so when you found out you had that diagnosis being autistic, what was kind of your first reaction, and where did you and how do you kind of use that mindset now that versus when you didn't have that mindset,
Yeah. When I first found the words, again, I had this client who was like in their autistic bliss phase of it.
Mhm.
And, hearing them talk about their autistic bliss definitely, I think, helped. It's so interesting. Like, clients are such a mirror for us. But as they were talking, I'm like not saying anything about my experience, and I'm like, oh, yeah. But I think there's a lot of grief. I had a lot of grieving. About just feeling like all the ways I had been treated and talked to, and all the ways that my things have been pathologized and worked on in therapy and done trauma work on, and the ways that people thought that I was like not nice or mean, or you can't say those things. It was just a running through of all of my experiences that I've ever had, and like feeling this like grief, and also this like it took me a little bit to get to the autistic bliss, which is where I'm at now, where I'm like, I even had a moment when I got diagnosed and I was talking to my therapist. I'm like, how can I be a therapist if I'm autistic? She's like, I think you'd be the best therapist, and you are a good therapist. Your clients like you, and like, you don't have to you can go into the deep dark spaces and not come out all effed up from it. I'm like, that's true. And I do care. And I think that really started my fight too, of like, autistic people aren't like what they've been saying. Like, we are humans, we do feel emotions pretty big, and that's why we kind of moderate them a lot. But like, and really getting the word out of autistic bliss, and like, we are not a disability, like we are so much more, like we're cool people, and like, let's harness our superpowers.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
So what do you say to people who are in your shoes where you were at one point, where they bring up that maybe maybe I have autism to like their therapist or anything like that, but then they don't get that validation, I guess. What do you kind of say to them that might be in that place where they just don't know yet?
Research. Do your own research. A lot of clinicians, a lot of providers, we weren't educated in that. They don't know, so in their brains, they don't know. When a client usually comes to me and says they think they have something, I usually say we're going to explore it. But if you don't get that, that's okay. Do your own research. Your social media can be an asset depending on who those people are and what they're saying. And I mean, I look for people who are saying things and they seem like they're trustworthy. I don't know how to say it.
That's fair.
And then I just actually did a how to diagnose yourself with autism workshop. So you can always reach out to me. And yeah, reading and researching and trusting yourself. And if people are like, oh, everyone's autistic nowadays, like, you're probably going to hear that. And that might be true because we missed a lot of people. And now we're finding out that a lot of people actually are autistic, and it might not be that rare. And if you're thinking about that, you probably are, because I don't think people who are autistic think that they're autistic. So kind of like someone who's like, I think I might be gay, but I don't know. Like, unless you have OCD, baby, you might be gay if you're thinking about you might be gay.
Yeah.
I remember
That's-
one time I was working with a client and they said, "Now's my friend sent me this link." I said, "What'd they send you?" They said, "I think I might be gay quiz." And I said, "Oh yeah, how did it go?" He said, "It wasn't a quiz. You just click on the button. It just says you're gay. If you click on this test, you're gay as shit."
Yes, that's it.
You are. Yep. So this will be a moment. What that moment just happened will be a reel that we probably clip of you talking and me like hand pointing, because everything you just said is like 100% spot on. I don't think it has been said or articulated maybe the best by me at times. Maybe it has. I don't know. We say a lot of shit on here. That was good.
Oh,
That
thank you.
is what it is, to challenge your own thinking, to validate your own shit. If you think you're neurodivergent, probably are. Neurotypicals aren't out there like, you know what? I think I'm on the spectrum.
No, they're not doing that.
They're not doing that. It's also like my OCD clients, not all, but some that have maybe the suicidal thoughts, the intrusive thoughts of like harming others or something like that. Not like counting and stuff. I'm talking about like harming folks. Them.
Oh yeah, harm OCD. I'm an OCD specialist. I know.
Oh yeah, and so they'll be like, you know what? Damn, I done lost focus. What I'm about to say. It was about to be about autism. Oh, here it is. So they'll be like, I thought it. I thought so. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be true. I'm like, people that harm others don't really give a shit, and so they're not thinking about it as much as you. And how am I relating that to this? Is like, if you think it's the thing, it's probably a thing. Other folks, they just go about life and they're living kind of normally, blissfully, unimpeded by any other barriers in this neurotypical world. So hopefully I articulated that correctly. But I've never had a neurotypical come in or someone that's just not autistic and say those words.
Yeah.
You might hear, "Oh, I might have anxiety. I might have depression," but it's never, you know what? I think there's something wrong with my communication. I might be an alien amongst these folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that
So-
hard to diagnose, honestly. I'll say it.
really isn't.
I don't think it's hard. I don't think I have to do the 6 tests that I do. I think I just need to have a conversation with someone, ask a couple of questions, ask what they think about it when they go to the beach.
Yeah.
And there we go. We're done.
No,
I
How do you
mean,
feel when you go to the beach? Do you like the beach?
I hate sand.
You're autistic, dude. See?
Well,
when the
Diagnosis
sand,
that
I'm also Anakin Skywalker, so
because he doesn't like sand, because he died.
he hates
in the
sand.
lava?
If you watch Clone Wars, you would know. I'm gonna clip that. We're gonna make a reel out of this. I'm gonna put that clip underneath, so we're gonna do that. All right.
There you go. Hate sand. Yeah, it's hurtful because I don't like sand under my feet and I'm Arab, so this goes against like everything.
Oh my god!
I can say that. Don't laugh. Don't laugh, Adrienne.
Don't you laugh.
Don't you laugh.
Professionalism.
No, but for real though, it's that when I love the beach, I love the serene, the scene, but when it comes to putting my feet on it and then the crunch underneath it is like horrific. I have to wear the shoes. Horrific. Spencer's like, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "I got to put my shoes back on, dog. I'm dying out here."
Didn't make sense.
But interesting. I've diagnosed people, bro. I'll just be standing outside at like an event or something. I'm like, "This
Autism.
motherfucker got autism right here, boy." I do.
See how you're walking like that? That's an autistic walk.
Yep, I do it all the time when I'm driving through campus. I'm like, "Look at this tiptoeing motherfucker."
Me too. That I'm not alone. I'll see someone over there in the corner like doing this or something. I'm like, "Ha, you're autistic, you're stimmy."
Oh. How did you know? And then they just run away scared.
They're like, how did you know?
Yeah. Shooting them with blow darts. No, it's a thing. I remember one of my clients, because I also do some better help work, because I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do private practice or not. And I remember just from emails back and forth, I'm like, "You got autism." So then eventually we brought it up and they're like, "Nope." And I'm like, "Yep." And I'm like, "So's your mama and your daddy." So,
The denial is.
Yeah, I've had some
sometimes-
first conversations and I'm like, "Ooh, babe." They're like, "I think I might be autistic." I'm like, "I could tell by the way you said hi, you're autistic."
yeah.
Right. And they're like, yep, got it.
It's so
Good.
weird.
Knew it.
So many different cues and very subtle different things, and it's not always
Yeah.
the same. It's not always the same.
Mhm.
But when you get that vibe, the other day, Spence, I'm like, you remind me of a client. And the person was like, what? And I'm like, yep. And then they're like, oh, that's awesome. I said, I love this client. And then I was like, well, just to let you know, that one got hella autism. So you got it too.
What are you
2 months
saying?
later, 2 months later, I'm like, hey, by the way, that person that drew that thing, yeah.
It's no
Yeah,
different
today
than
someone-
Gator. Like we know our people. It's like we're
Yeah.
vibing too much. This conversation isn't clunky. You're autistic.
Hey, autism. Yeah, I've had like hanging around Nas a lot. I get that just like autism radar. That's bad. But it's like, and then I pointed out, and then I've had one person that I was just like, I think you're autistic. And then they were just immediately were like, no, no, no. I was like, well, I know. You don't know
Yeah,
yet, but
podcast.
you will.
So
You will.
hard. It's so hard when people are like, no. I've said to people before, like, I think you're autistic, and they're like, I feel really overwhelmed. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Thought
I
it'd be
know.
exciting to tell you.
That even
No.
makes the case even more. Like,
You also ugly as shit.
oh my God.
I'm joking. Don't laugh at that.
I'm ugly and
Like,
autistic.
do
No.
And she was like, do I laugh at this? I'm just gonna act like they said something. Okay.
I'm just here.
Yeah, I'm not nice.
I practice laughing in the mirror. I got this.
It's like, why you got a hunchback? I can't hear.
It's all stored
It's
back
always-
there. Sorry.
Oh my God. It's like a checkpoint in a video game. Good times. I know we're spending some time on this and not getting into the scene, but I think it's really good to let people know about how it is difficult at times to come to terms with this, how it is maybe to seek the professional diagnosis, how maybe you don't need to seek professional diagnosis. If you're questioning if something is different about me, maybe you are different, but not less. Just like our merchandise, but you can get on our website, also on our link tree. Thank you.
Different. Not less.
But not less. So it's exciting to talk about these things with someone that not only is on the spectrum, but also a therapist for other folks that is on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I've run into those folks. We just haven't had many of those folks on the podcast. So that's why it's exciting to have you today. Yeah, shout out. All right, real quick, just for funsies, let's get into the scene. What's up with this tattoo? What do you got on that hand? Just the hand.
Okay.
Right hand. What is this?
So this is the mountain ranges that I've lived in that have like felt really meaningful to me. So this is the Rocky, Appalachia, and then Adirondack. So I moved around a lot. So those are like some of my most favorite mountain ranges.
There you go. Question: can you spell any of them mountains?
Rocky. Asking me literally because I'm not gonna. I'll start spelling shit. I'll put it in the chat box.
No, you
we believe you.
That's fine. Ain't no one spelling Appalachia. I'm just letting you know. I can't even know Appalachian.
You have to say Appalachia.
Appalachia.
I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, and I said Appalachia, and they're like, no. And I was like, oh, sorry, I got the rule wrong. It's Appalachia. Sorry.
Appalachia. I can hear my dad saying empanada. Hey, we's a diverse family. We can say that. I love some fucking empanadas, boy. Not the pumpkin ones. I'm just letting you know, the Mexican folk, all my culture, they eat the pumpkin empanadas. That shit's terrible. Someone needs to say it.
Hey, you know what? First reference to food, and we got 3 more to go before the show ends.
There we go. Okay. Well, Spence, get us back on track.
Yes. So, Adrienne, could you tell us what is, what's the show all about?
It's a bunch of teenagers. I don't know if you've seen Skins when you were younger. Skins, am I getting that right? It's kind of like that. Like they're just being teenagers, and they're all queer, and it's super diverse and neurodivergent. And my spouse and I did IVF to have a baby because we're same-sex couples. So we had to make one in a lab. And so while we were waiting for all these things to happen and be pregnant, I found this show, and I was like, oh wow, like we're finally getting representation in all of these areas. And when you're queer, you will watch anything with a queer person in it, like just starving for any queer content. So we just like started watching it, and Quinny, the autistic character, is autistic in real life. And I was like, oh my God,
That's
I feel so
awesome.
seen. I feel so seen.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
There you
Wow.
go.
And so about this first scene that we watched, where she's in the restaurant, right? And she's starting to get a little bit of just a sensory overload, right? It's the beginning of it. Do you find that this is actually a real depiction of a sensory overload?
So when I had originally watched that scene, I hadn't been diagnosed yet.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it, and I had to pause it, and I started crying, and I was like, that's what my panic attacks that aren't actually panic attacks feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so overwhelmed and so seen in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
As well, and you'll see as the scene goes through, of you can start to hear every sound happening at once. It's like your ears aren't like just giving you one sound or a noise. It's like every sound is happening at once, and it's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Could you actually kind of go over what this would kind of maybe like step by step, what you like someone might be going through in that instance of a sensory overload?
Yeah, so like I always say, so now I wear loop earplugs a lot of places until I lose them, because I also have ADHD. Most autistic people do.
Yep.
I got the hyperactive kind, so I especially lose it. Anyways, see, it's ADHD. So you kind of, and so there's different types. Some autistic folks have hyposensory sensitivity. So the hypo folks might go into a loud situation and kind of just like, it's so much that their brain kind of shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's hyper sensitive sensory people like me, where we go into a situation that's loud, and it starts to, we're usually probably already anxious going into it. And then it starts where it's like, there's all of these noises that are coming in, and they're all happening at once, and you can hear every single one of them. And then the cortisol and the adrenaline come, right? Because it's a fight or flight response. That's a huge part of being autistic in sensory, is it's a fight or flight response. So now I'm starting to feel a little weird. Now the person talking to me, I can't really focus. I'm losing my masking, and now I mask less, but back then I would start to lose my masking. My brain would start feeling kind of melty, and then the adrenaline and cortisol, and then it's like, am I about to have a panic attack? Like, no, I'm just going to push through this, and then trying to focus on what the person's saying. And then God forbid we're like doing something like at a sports or concert thing, and then people are directing me on where to go, and I'm like bumping into stuff and getting really confused, and people like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? You're so stupid and silly. And then it's like, oh my God, and you don't have the words for it. And then afterwards, you're like at home, and you probably have to sleep for 24 hours, and maybe you feel like you're going to get sick, because it's like your body's aching from the experience, because that sound is just like an assault to your body. And if you don't know you're autistic afterwards, it's just like so embarrassing. And you say like, okay, I guess I have severe social anxiety and panic disorder. Like I don't want to go anywhere for a week. And then people are, I could keep going.
Yeah.
Hold up in the house, and then it's just a lot. Once you know you're autistic, like you pop in those earplugs and be like, this isn't going to be my vibe, guys. I'm not going to talk for a while.
Like, I'm gonna be over here. All right.
Yeah. I'm popping them earplugs. I can't hear what you're saying, Becky. Fuck you. Because I know you can't hear what I'm saying either.
I was like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not to mention, like, you have
too.
to hide your stimming. Like, most of us have masked our stimming. So in those situations, like, I'm trying to like fiddle with something in my pocket, and like just trying to access anything to soothe and calm down. And it's working because it's a sensory, but I thought it was just an anxiety disorder.
There you go. So that fits like magnificently well. You explained the scene well, the show well, your experience, and then what many others may go through as well. I done said well like 6 times. That's 7 times now.
Well.
It made sense.
Well. I think well, explaining this to clients, what is legitimately happening to them brings like, oh shit, I'm not crazy. It's quite wonderful. It is usually like a little bit blissful to be like, okay, so I'm not that damaged. Like there's something neurologically going on where I can't filter out these things and overwhelmed and then deregulated. Like, yeah. It's not that big of a deal. Now we know to avoid some of those places or go with safe people, take your breaks from those places, and you maybe do 15 minutes and you go hide for 15 minutes. You'll figure it out. Maybe we do the earplugs. Maybe we make sure that we're very comfortable. It depends. Maybe we, as a team, as a partnership, we decide to go to a less stimulating environment, and so we can all hang out. Maybe it's not this fucking pub, but it's this other one.
Yep.
Maybe we can alternate where we do one that's like a mildly upsetting to maybe a couple, and then the next time or two we do where everyone can be very peaceful, homebody, at home, eating pizza, chilling, playing D&D, whatever. There's steps to this, and you have to be people that legitimately love you and respect you to make sure that they respect your boundaries and that you always don't have to say that your boundary. Maybe they should already kind of know if they know you well. It's a tricky place. In saying all this, most of my college students that I work with, they're just going to push through it like you did. Whether they know that they're on the spectrum or not, they're going to push through it because they want to be normal. They want to have the college experience. And one of my students is like, yeah, I'm just shitting my brains out the entire time. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, I'm just in the bathroom, just horrifically 6 times. I'm like, 6 times? I'm like, do you even leave? She's like, no, I just go back for like a few minutes and I go back to the bathroom. I'm like, you can't do this anymore. This is not good. Why just drink more? That's not the solution. That can lead to some weird shit. So it's intense for a lot of my college students because they want to live this quote unquote normal life or this normal college life where you're supposed to have the time of your life and like be drunk all the time and party. That's actually technically not that normal for most individuals. Most individuals are not getting hammered the entire time. It's a certain subsection that is. And I love talking about this because even like Thanksgiving's coming up. By the time this pod comes up, it's going to be real close to Thanksgiving, if not past it. That's tough for a lot of my clients. And so we're talking about a restaurant. Thanksgiving's crazy. You got people in there cooking and shit, yelling and shit. TV's on, football's on. People talking politics. Well, people calling out people for racism and shit. It can get intense. And so some of my clients will be like, nah, so what do I do? I'm like, you're going to take some breaks. You're going to tell your mom that you're going to fucking go outside and go for your walks that you enjoy because it's out in the cold and it really regulates you. And you're going to tell her to fucking deal with it, or you're not going to be part of Thanksgiving. You're just going to sit in your room the entire time. And so that sounds dramatic, but there's also a lot of other steps that we put in there to get respect and demand respect without mom thinking that they're making excuses or dad thinking that they're making excuses. Because the goal is, how do we regulate? And how do we also just create safe spaces for ourselves? And it's tough. It takes a lot of ego work to build them back up, to set those boundaries, to make sure that they are not crazy or that they're not asking for too much. You going for a walk outside to like chill or into the bathroom to hide for a while isn't a lot to ask. Your parents forcing you to sit outside at the dinner table for like 2 hours. I'd fucking lose my shit. Spencer knows I don't even like to sit down. Half the time I want to lay down. So everyone will be at my house. Or I'll just be laying down. I'm sitting there with my legs kicking in the air, just everyone. They're like, look at this big motherfucker, hunchback and shit. That's what you keep on autism.
That's actually a neurodivergent thing too. Like we have this hunch right here is because I'm not gonna info dump, but it's actually most of us have.
I got a little hunch there, but mine is mine
Or
is
next, go forward. Follow Dr. Tracy. I think her name is, or Dr. something. Tracy. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Well, I got like a fatty tissue build up there too. That's from weightlifting. So that bar, I got sensitive skins, so it builds up the tissue. And the doctor's like, "What the hell is this?" I said, "That's from weightlifting, punk."
Actually, just so you know, it's my autism.
You like to, my lovely lady
Press
humps.
a button.
Mums. Okay. Let's look real quick. What do we got? What we got over here in the autism spreadsheet, the TISM spreadsheet. The TISM spreadsheet. I think this is, we're going to kick this to you. You talked about something that's interesting is this misdiagnosis stuff. So you already kind of preached on it where, you know, they'll say like panic disorder and stuff like that. And you've
Bipolar.
already, go ahead, preach. You can get on your
Oh,
soapbox.
oh, okay. So here, I'm gonna paint a scene for you. We don't know a certain type of autism exists, right? That looks a certain way. So you get someone that comes in and they say, you know, sometimes I get so focused in on something and I feel so hyper and energetic about it, and it's all I care about, and I just want to research everything I can about it for hours and hours and hours, and it's hard for me to stop. Autistic inertia. It's hard for me to stop and like go to bed, but I eventually go to bed and I'm just like really excited about it. And then sometimes like I start feeling really overwhelmed by everything, and then I'm just like in my bed for like a week or two and I forget to leave my house, and it's really hard to socialize, but I just want to like, and this doctor's like, this is bipolar. When really what we're seeing is hyperfixation, special interest, and complete and utter overwhelm, and probably sensory overload and too many expectations. So a lot of people get misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Spence, Adrienne can talk this shit, boy. I tell you. Adrienne, and by shit I mean you can preach. That was a wonderful scene. And I also like the cadence that you gave, because it's also kind of like super hyper and like in it. I'm bipolar-ish, so that's intriguing as well. I do the same thing because it adds a little gravitas when you're like trying to teach and provide psychoeducation.
Yes.
Hella right. I'll see bipolar. I'll see schizoid. I'll see all types of personality disorders, narcissistic, borderline. You'll see avoidant. You will see
Schizoid personality disorder. You said that.
Schizoid 100%. You will see it. You'll see antisocial because they don't care about like socializing or talking to people, or the rules don't apply to them. I'm like, the motherfucker don't know the rules. They will follow rules if you tell them, but you ain't told them a damn rule. And then, you know, sometimes they got executive function, they might forgot the damn rule.
Yeah.
Well, they won't follow no rules, so they, you know, just calm down.
And then we're so varied. We're so varied. They think that as autistic folks, because it's in the DSM, that we wouldn't be varied and we're all the same, like a presentation of like depression or OCD, where in reality, it's like there's allistics and then there's autistics. That's how my brain sees it, right? There is developmental disorders, cognitive disorders, diagnoses and disorders that come under the autism umbrella of having that type of brain. But like at the end of the day, we're so varied, just like people. And so you get people coming in and get all these diagnoses, and it's just different types of autistic folks.
I've been trying to preach at my school.
It is mine.
I own all y'all motherfuckers work for me. Okay. I'm the biggest one here, so it is go in order by weight. You know, metric ton. I don't even know what that means. And so I've been trying to preach to a lot of folks, and they're like, damn, I've been noticing a lot of folks are like neurodivergent. I'm like, no shit, bro. We're at a fucking science and engineering school, one of the biggest in the entire world. It's heavily populated with autistic folk. And they're like, yeah, this is pretty intense. I'm like, yep, I've been trying to tell y'all for years now. And then you got some of these older doctors, they're like, let me guess, Nas, they're ADHD and autistic. And I'm like, yep. And they're like, yeah, I'm making fun of you right now. Yep, I know you are. And this kid's autistic. Oh, no, they ain't got ADHD. Oh, okay, send them in for testing. Guess what they got?
1000% every autistic person has ADHD. I'm sorry.
It's intense.
It's just whether you're the combined type, hyperactive, or inattentive. And that is a big statement I just said, but
correct.
You convinced me otherwise. There's executive
I'm trying to tell you.
Part of autism.
It's all in the pie.
I do have one question. Have you met an ADHD person without autism?
Yes, but now you're making me question some things. I feel like I have seen a lot of ADHD, but there's a lot of autistic traits in many of them. Yes.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the future holds with that.
Correct. Now I haven't really heard it like that, but whenever I see ADHD, you see some interesting stuff that's also in there. Usually anxiety disorder, usually depression, usually a shit ton of mirroring, and possibly OCD like tendencies.
And you know that OCD and ADHD, technically scientists don't know how the two can exist together without autism. I'm like, I told you, there's so much cool information out there. I just want to know, like, I want you to like research and then like message me and tell me what you think.
Yeah, no, I'm done researching. It is what it is.
Read
now.
a book.
The
fuck?
No, just ask ChatGPT. No, sure.
I thought you said Ass Chat. I was like, what the hell is Ass Chat?
It's a new AI. Get you some ass.
I need to download that one. Yeah. This my ass. How does this get out here?
Wait a minute. How'd they get that photo?
Yeah, I say that thing. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm on a full rant. Yeah, this is where Adrienne's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I just took a water break. I'm chilling.
Oh, you're good. All right. I just finished the doctorate for social work, and dissertation was on autism amongst women and how it differs from men, but then specifically getting away from that and trying to explain that how it's this less severity or less disabling speech, right? Looking at these other smaller characteristics and how do we generalize this to everyone, because there's no way in hell the ratio of men to women is that varied. There's no way. There's no way. And there's some talks about testosterone, societal pressures and norms and coaching women. And so I decided to do that. I'm so burnt out of doing studying and research.
I just want to nerd out on your research.
I'm completely done. Yeah. And so I literally have just been watching movies and playing video games. Yeah, I'll pick back up reading in January and trying to educate myself, but I am full-blown fucking 16-year-old boy right now.
Ooh, I think that's a good thing. You need to give your brain a break.
Oh, yeah, it's been magnificent. So we talked about the misdiagnosis. It's a big issue. We talked about the panic attacks and how it's also really could be this overwhelming, leading to like a meltdown. Obviously, we're seeing that in the scene. But there's something that you brought up and that I picked up, which is the biggest thing that I picked up in the thing. I forgot the character's name. What was her name?
Winnie.
And they're like, hey, we don't touch them. We don't touch it, because the other person was going in to like hug them and support them, which is awesome. It's empathetic, it's loving, it's caring, it's supportive. And the other person was like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't touch Winnie.
And I was like, ooh. I assume maybe some folks can touch that individual, maybe none can touch the individual. Maybe they just need someone to just sit there with them in a minute and just talk them through it and deregulate. Maybe they just need 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. A lot of people don't like to be touched. I sure as fuck don't like to be touched, unless it's like all consensual, but like, you don't need to touch me.
In a very specific type of touch, right? I need pressure. Like okay. if I'm going to access touch to calm down, I need you to lay on top of me or like squeeze something on me or like pinch parts of my body, but like not a normal, like,
Yeah. It depends. It's got to be specific individuals or specific purposes. It definitely can't be not consensual. Like you just randomly just touching me. No, I'm not cool with that.
No,
you're patting me on the back.
It feels like razor blades on my skin. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's intense. And so I thought that was awesome for that friend to know and respect those boundaries, because I think other people would be like, oh, it's fine, just let them do that. Like parents, oh, it's fine. It's actually not fine. I'm sorry. This person has told you this person doesn't enjoy this thing. Can we try to respect the thing? But I'm supposed to do this. You're my best friend. You're my partner. You're my. You don't own my body. You have no legal right to this. All the this.
All of this.
Spencer's like, who the fuck wants that?
Ooh.
Fucking Rumpelstiltskin?
Rumpelstiltskin. Why are you stealing children, man?
It's gonna be me on Halloween. That's not serious.
I hope not.
Serious.
That'd be a weird ass. Fucking be like, are you Rumpelstiltskin?
I'm trying to tell you, man. Some of them kids are so damn cute with them costumes. I'm like, would you just hang out at the house for a couple hours? Couple hours. Yep, I'm going to jail. What else we got on here? Oh, let's talk about the favorite word, shame and guilt. We're gonna do a little round table, a circle motion. Adrienne, can you give us a description of a time that maybe you got in that situation, you felt all obviously deregulated, and then you felt immediately that shame, that guilt, that, oh, I just blew this, I just wasted everyone's time, I ruined the fucking event. Like, do you have a specific thing in your mind where you're like, this is cringe as shit, after or before self-diagnosis, diagnosis? It doesn't really matter. I just wondered, when was the time that seared into your brain? And then Spence and I'll go.
Before, so my in-laws had a baby shower, which was very kind of them to do. And I remember very sensory overload. I had to be the one to be pregnant, and we wanted a baby. But I didn't want a baby shower where everyone was looking at me. And I went in and there was so many people talking and there was so much noise and I was so uncomfortable in my body. And there were so many scary stories of people telling me about their births. And then one of the women comes over to me and says, okay, it's time for us to play games. And then you're going to open gifts in front of everyone. And I actually had a massive panic attack and started sobbing and had to leave and went back to the hotel room. I left the baby shower. The person with the baby in the body left the baby shower. And, to this day, if I would have known I was autistic, I would have advocated for a different type of baby shower. But my spouse got to enjoy it with their family, and that's all that really matters, But I went home and I was like, well, that's embarrassing. I cried and had to leave my baby shower that I don't like when people look at me. So that's mine.
Yep. Yeah, I can't even imagine that. Yeah, can't imagine that one. That's
the gender stuff on top of it is a lot. It's a lot.
All the stuff. Yep. It's that. And then you actually like have human existence inside of you, just like fucking with you and kicking you in that kidney. So that's a whole thing.
In the kidney.
No. Yep. Just for my personal joy, you had a kid and they're all healthy and everything's cool.
All
right, cool. Yeah.
Yes, my dude, my little dude.
Okay, because you threw me off. You said, "Well, we tried to have a kid." I'm like, "Did it happen?" Like, I don't know the emotion I'm supposed to feel right now.
No, he's happy. He's amazing. I would never do it again. But I am so grateful that he exists and he is healthy and happy and good.
There you go. I just wanted to make sure, because I was like, "What emotion do I choose from?"
Like, this is about to take a real weird turn. Like,
should I laugh? Should I cry? I don't know.
No, he's good.
Yeah. Do we pull out like thing? Go ahead, Spence.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of specifics on this because it probably happens so many times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's
Your ones are always fun for me,
right? I don't know. It's more of like, I've had moments where, especially Thanksgiving, like we used to do like a lot of family stuff. Hated that shit because it was just, you always had a mask and put on like all these different faces and act a certain way, not to like, you don't want to ruin everyone else's Thanksgiving for being like an asshole or whatever, right? And so that was probably one of the, like those times that I just really did not like putting on a mask. And then I probably deregulated at some point, but then I live in Minnesota, so it's cold in November, so we just go outside and just sit out there for a while, and that's kind of one of the things. It's like family events were just not fun for me when I was a kid because it was just felt like a lot of pressure to be doing things that I don't really want to do, acting a certain way that I don't really want to act, and so wasn't always fond of it. Just kind of wanted to stay home, but did what you had to do. So
people ever think you were weird or like you were being an asshole?
Yes, all the time. They still think that. What the,
Same.
what the fuck?
You're the weird one in the family.
Yeah, totally. I'm the fucking weirdo.
Yeah, you're getting along with us pretty well, so you a little fucked up.
Well, I'm also biracial in a family that was very white. So that was a little probably awkward for some people, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
is what it
I
is.
believe that. I think what's always in my brain is college, and specifically how they always talk about Nas always leaves. Nas always leaves. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't always leave. They say, man, you always fucking wander off. We're all in here drunk as shit. Where'd you go? I was drunk too. But you always leave. And I didn't realize that I always left and went outside and hung out with all the smokers because I always needed that to regulate because I get so hot and anxious.
Right.
Hell, I was talking to a bunch of students in the Latin Cultural Center because I'm the liaison over there. And I said, hey, man. He said, what's up? I said, I love talking to you, man. You're a good kid. He said, yeah, thank you, thank you. I said, I'm getting real anxious talking to you, man. I got to go. He said, what do you mean? I said, I'm getting hot. My ears are burning. He said, it ain't even hot in here. I said, it's fine. I'm stewing. I'm fucking full-on rotisserie chicken at Costco stewing. He said, that's fine, that's fine. I said, yeah, I'm going to go, man. I'll talk to you next week. And so obviously weird. But that person knows I'm on the spectrum, so it's fine. But going back to the pub, I was always this bubbly, happy drunk, and some of my other friends are like little tiny guys, little 5'5" guys. Okay, and they're little aggressive drunks. And I was usually that protector and like bodyguard in the situations, and so they would get very mad when I would leave. But I was like happy, bubbling. I go outside, take my breaks, and then I come back in. Everyone then got their ass kicked. How am I supposed to know? Right? And for real, man, it's how it was. And so they get mad at me, talking about I'm running or this or that, or where were you? And then they would shame me. And then they would guilt me. I said, how about you just not get in a fight with people? You know, how about you actually hold your liquor? You also don't have to drink as much as I do. You know, I can drink a whole bottle and be okay. I drive pretty good too now. That's a joke.
No.
Do not drink and drive.
Yes, don't drink and drive. This podcast does not condone drinking and driving. Don't do it.
But you know, yep, absolute vodka. We almost killed me a couple times.
Call an Uber. Don't do it.
Call an Uber, please.
Or Lyft.
Legitimately, please do not drive drunk. So I would get shit for that all the time, and they'd be, Nas, what is wrong with you, man? I don't fucking know, man. Just go outside. And so I finally realized that I was always that person taking breaks. And I started suggesting it to clients in college years and years later. I'm like, look at this shit here, my autistic ass. Okay. And they're like, yeah, that's weird. I'm like, yep, sure is. But I would go catch my breath, do my thing. Interesting looking back on those days and how whenever I got super hot or super crowded or super loud, like, yeah, I'm out. I'm gone. Real quick pause. The people that are outside smoking end up being the funnest, nicest fucking people.
I became a smoker for that reason because I found that smoking helped me socially to get out and just have the one-on-one talks and just chill.
Hey, got a bum a cigarette, and then you share the cigarette, this and that, and you talk about this and that. It was always been the nicest people I've talked to. Hey, you got a smoke or a lighter? I ain't got either one, but I talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm here for the conversation, not the tobacco.
I'm here for the conversation, brother. You want my number? I ain't got no cell phone, so I'm gonna have to write that shit down for you.
I got a payphone I go to regularly.
for real, though. For real. Thank God for Obama phones because this shit was a struggle back then. Thank you, Obama. 2008, boy. We
Shout out Obama.
Obama phone in the mail. Shout out Obama, boy. Yep.
Yes.
I got hope.
I share a birthday with Obama.
Do you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey.
When's Obama's birthday?
August 4th.
What the fuck?
August 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never would remember any president's birthday. I'm like, who?
I will only remember Obama's because he's the best and it's on my birthday. So
there you go. Yeah. We beat racism.
It's gone.
I think it's gone. I don't see it anymore.
Oh,
Never came back. Never came back.
I don't see color.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I don't see differences. Okay, sorry.
I don't see color except for that one.
I'm brownish. Jesus Christ.
I hate when people say that. I'm like, shut up.
He black.
Be black.
Everyone's the same to me, really.
Yep, it is.
How about
Man. I'm
that
telling you, man.
privilege? Is that all the same? All right,
I
anyway, sorry.
love everyone. Motherfucker, you don't love the poor people.
Oh,
Mhm. Yeah, no, I got a whole poor rant. Classism gets in the way of even more shit to me than sometimes racism, but they're usually very connected.
Yes.
So, love that we hit some of these topics. I'm sure that I had left something out in that sandwich of mess that I was just talking about. We got some stuff down here, and I don't even know what I wrote. Let's look at this.
Unmasking.
This one looked like it says Massachusetts.
Masking.
Massachusetts.
Well, masking's
See
lower.
my
It
sim toy.
says masking, and it says hard as shit. But before that, oh, it's the step by step. So it's misunderstood, feeling shame, guilty, feeling like an idiot, not knowing what to say, feeling isolated, feeling depressed, feeling suicidal. That spiral downwards. Dun, 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 dun,
Suicidal,
dun.
yes. That's a thing.
So, you got any preaching about this step by step thing, or how the isolation, because you don't want to be in those situations, or fear or shame leads to isolation and then maybe could lead to suicidal thoughts? Is that a thing, or am I just making shit up?
So what I see a lot, so I don't love the terminology autistic meltdown, but I use it because if I say autistic overwhelm, no one knows what I'm talking about. So in an autistic meltdown, when we are completely overloaded, oversensory, our brain feels like it's melting, and we go into black and white and catastrophic thinking. And normally comes creeping in is maybe I should just die. And most people get a little freaked out by it. Most people are like, maybe I just should. But mostly every autistic person I know gets to that point in one of their meltdowns and they get really freaked out by it. Like, why would I think that? And then afterwards, once they're fine, the meltdown's over and they've regulated, they're like, so I had that thought. What did that mean? And so now I kind of just, when people say that, I'm like, okay, do you have a plan? Do you actually want to? No, it just happens when I get into those spaces. Okay. I guess when you say that, or your brain tells you that, that's time, can we start stimming? Can we start rocking? Do you need pressure? Learning to accommodate for what you need, which is a part of unmasking. If we unmask, then we can pull in all the tools that we've been shoving away for so long. I'm like, I want you to sit there and like rock and flap and like cry and cry and cry and cry. And like, you're probably not going to jump out the window. I have a feeling you're not. If you feel like you are, call someone safe who knows that you're probably not actually suicidal. But I think then some people do because it's so hard, especially undiagnosed people. That's why I'm not going to ever be okay with people saying, oh, everyone's autistic nowadays. Well, fine. Okay. If that keeps people alive so they don't have to suffer like most of us have. That's my feelings.
True.
It's hard to live like this and not know.
No, it is. It is. I've diagnosed a lot of people just in the last few weeks, man. I'm like, hey, man, it's a thing.
Good.
So, that spiral's intense. I'm gonna stick on this thing of like this suicidal ideation and that word intent. So some of you folks that are listening, the neurodivergent yourself, your parents, maybe you're young, maybe you got partners, whatever it is, doesn't matter. This word ideation just means like kind of thinking, kind of stewing on some stuff, right? Maybe batting some stuff around. And there's the real stuff, which is, I'm going to research some stuff. I'm going to think about ways how I can actually do it. So I'm going to talk about what medicine do I have in the cabinet? Where are my access to my knives? Do I have a pistol here? Like, I'm going to visualize this. I might actually Google some stuff, best ways to die. A client just told me that yesterday. Or they said, I calculated how much Tylenol it would take for me to actually kill myself. I'm like, you big as shit, so it's going to take a couple bottles. Obviously, I didn't say that. But still, like, I'm like, you can get a really bad stomach ache, man. You tall as hell. So there's that. The legit intent, plus there's a lot of means in there as well. Now, there's the passive stuff, which a lot of us have, especially intrusive thoughts, which is like, I don't want to exist. This really fucking sucks. It'd be easier to be dead, to not have to go through tomorrow, to not have to live through today or the meeting. I just don't want to, and I want to disappear. There's the I don't want to exist. There's the I just want to disappear. There's the I want to just die, but actually not wanting to follow through with anything. Those are all passive things. Happens, anxious, it's a reaction. I get it. Don't be super scared of that. You're probably going to be. Don't be super scared of it. But then you said you're right. There's the folks that do have that intrusive thought and they've never really had one before. And then they have a full on like breakdown and they're like, holy shit, I want to die. And then like, oh my God, why would I think that? I live a good life. Things are solid. Parents love me. Why would I want to die? But then I had that thought. So that must mean I want to die because I want to die. And I thought that, holy shit, I'm going to kill myself. So that's where that OCD shit starts to really pick up and it can get intense. And then they start scanning all the time, scanning to see if they're depressed, if they're suicidal. And it keeps happening and happening. And every physical reaction triggers a scan. Like, calm down, bro. So there's a couple of different things. There's passive, there's intent and means. And this is why I want to talk about this because I had a lot of clients that be like, I want to kill myself or I don't want to be here. And they'll send them into my office and they'll get hospitalized. Not from me, but from other folks. They'll hospitalize people so quickly. And I'm like, you've damaged so much to this human. Are they actually going to do it or did they just say it?
Right.
And so I have to teach a lot of clients to stop saying some of that verbiage because they keep getting like either hospitalized or they keep getting sent out of class or like all these meetings and behavior things. And like, I'm like, all right, so we're going to change some of the verbiage. Like my friend said, I keep saying it too much. I'm like, do you? They're like, yeah. I'm like, your ass is legitimately depressed. So maybe you shouldn't actually say that because they think that you actually mean it. And they're going to end up calling the police on you.
Right.
So with me, you can say it all you want. I mean, you can say whatever crazy shit you want because I know that you're safe and you're not going to do it. But there's certain times and places, certain people. I wanted to say that because they will legitimately try to kick these kids out of school because they might say something to a professor. And I'm like, whoa.
And that's the stuff that's so dangerous, right? Because if a kid's saying that and we're not getting curious about it and we're just panicking, that's about us. And then we're limiting this person's resources. So when a client comes to me and they say that and they're like, I was really afraid to tell you that, and you're just sitting there and you're not having a strong reaction, I'm like, yeah, because we're going to be curious about it. Like, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to, people are like, I thought you wouldn't be my therapist anymore. I'm like, no. But that's what you get so freaked out about your licensure and being sued and getting in trouble if someone does do that or being traumatized by them. But like, maybe they don't actually want to, or maybe they do. And by not freaking out, we can actually get them the resources we need and get curious on what's going on in their brains.
Preach. I remember one human had therapy with my boss, and my boss was, to me, she's one of the best therapists probably exists in the damn universe. But, you know, she's older, and she was missing a few steps on some things. So I ended up absorbing the caseload after, you know, they retired. And there was a bunch of folks, right? Awesome. But there was one person that I'm like, okay. Couple folks. One person, I'm like, you autistic. No, I'm not. I'm borderline. Okay. Well, you might be a little both, but you're on the spectrum, kid. You're definitely on the spectrum. And so we did a lot of deep talking, and they opened up to me vastly more than to the other therapists. And it was quite wonderful. And I remember the email scared the shit out of me. They said, hey, I'm going to the hospital to finally like legitimately work on this shit and do all the stuff that we've been talking about because now someone's actually listening to me. I know what the thing I need to work on. They did their thing. They thanked me. They was for real. They came back to school. They was awesome, graduated. But they were holding on to this horrific pain for years and masking for years. I'm like, we need to talk about these things. And they said, I don't know. I just felt like I could talk to you. Some of it was my vibe. Some of it was me being younger and my boss being older, and them having like the parental figure type of thing. I bring that up because folks should be able to say whatever they want to us without us feeling like we're going to immediately lock them up. Now, if you come in and tell me you're going to hurt someone today or legitimately hurt yourself today, don't get it twisted. We're going to talk about it a lot in depth, and we're going to figure out is there real intent and means. And if there is, both of us will agree for you to get higher treatment and to go into the hospital to make sure that you're safe. Or if you're having like a legit like mental break or schizophrenic break, which I've seen, usually drug induced. Yeah, so I don't want folks to think that I don't hospitalize folks, but it's usually a team cooperation.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show. Hey, are you a nerd? Do you like pins? If you're like any of our followers and you said yes, you should check out our collaboration with Pinfinity. They have Power Rangers pins, Transformers pins, and for all of our bronies out there, My Little Pony pins. Go check out our link tree or use our code DSP to get 20% off your Pinfinity order today.
You need to make a good decision. Yeah, it needs to be a collaborative. We need to be curious, and we need to know. I've hospitalized before too, but it was after sitting there for like an hour and making sure that it was the right move, especially
The right move.
The person that I was sitting with was a person of color, and I'm not just going to call
The
the
police.
police. I called an ambulance, and I had to make sure that he was going to be safe.
Yep. So the
I
steps
take it
to it.
lightly.
The steps to it, and you got to be safe with our folks, especially with folks of color, especially with folks that don't like to be touched. Right? There's some certain instructions that you need to give other folks when you're handing the kiddo off to. My old boss was the shit, boy. She would go to the hospital with the kid. She's like, "Yep, I'm dipping out of work. I'm going with the kid." And I said, "All right, I got it. I'll hold it down."
Oh my God, I love that. I would totally go with my people if I could. I'd be like right there, like, I got you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you feel better?
Dr. Ruth was a true soldier and saver of people. Yeah, love her to death. So, hopefully this has all been informational for a lot of folks. I feel like we hit everything. It looks like the last thing, Spence, is masking. I guess, what did you want to touch on masking, specifically her probably in the restaurant?
Yeah, so I think I touched on a little bit earlier that we're in that complete sensory overload and our mask starts to slip. And having the mask in general is completely anxiety inducing. Sometimes it's safe, right? So sometimes I feel like right now that I know and I've learned how to unmask, I kind of turn on my hyperactive ADHD, and that works as a pretty good mask. So I unmask the hyperactivity ADHD, and that helps. But when you're like in those situations and your mask starts to slip, it can feel like then you're really losing all control, because like I don't know how to be in and navigate or leave this situation. It's just a lot of pressure. And so for anyone who is watching this, like if you're going on a date, you don't have to go to a restaurant. You can suggest something else. Like if that's going to end up being your person long term, like they're going to get it, go for a walk, go for a picnic, go to a place where you're not forced to have eye contact, where you don't have to think a lot about eye contact, go to a place that's not noisy, like honor what you need. And if anyone thinks it's weird that you're not doing these certain things, and that's not going to be your person anyways. If it's friends, same thing. Find your people who, some autistics love going to really loud concerts.
Yep.
They love that noise. Find your people. We've been told too long that we're weird or we're quirky or we need to do better. And I'm just like, screw it all. Find your people where you can do the shit that you enjoy with and set those boundaries and like see what happens and work on therapy on the self-esteem, because most of our self-esteem has been shot at this point. So.
Yep. 100%. In the scene, both of you, but Spence, you can see where she's, because we haven't seen it until today. You can see where she's trying to hold her shit together, and she's looking at the date, right? And she's like trying, and she's zoning in. And the date starts looking weird at them, and then they're like, "Oh shit, I caught 2 words," and then I'm out. And then it reminded me of that scene, Spence, that we watched, Puss in Boots.
Oh yeah, yep.
Kind of reminded me of that.
He starts having the panic attack, and then everything else kind of shuts off.
Yep. Right. It was real loud, and then it was, and then it was weird and fuzzy and all that. You can see their eyesight going in and out. Oh shit! Scared the shit out of me. It's a fucking massive spider. Jesus Christ! You talk about adrenaline. Fuck me.
God,
Jesus Christ, dude! This fucking thing is massive.
That Indiana spider.
Oh my God! I just threw the fucking thing at it.
Why did you just?
That was fucking terrifying.
I love how you had to stay in the
That's how I feel about
seat.
centipedes. There's a lot of centipedes in Pittsburgh. That's how I feel about like those. That's just not right to have that many legs. That's not right.
It's not right.
Not right.
I
Oh,
I just
I
love
am
the
such
fact
a
that you
fool.
had to stay in your chair, or else you're gonna throw that laptop on the
I thought you were
floor.
acting something out for a minute. I was like, ooh, what's this?
Oh,
Oh, no,
a
it's
movie
That was me
scene.
being scared.
Huh. You do acting too? Whoa.
Yeah, no. Holy shit. I'm like got full boob sweat now. I'm like pouring. Jesus Christ. Chasing waterfalls over here, man. Jesus. That was terrifying. Yeah, I was talking about masking and then her. Oh, I have no idea how folks can hold it together in certain situations like that. Literally no idea. Um, that's intense. Sadly, I don't have to mask. Oh, not sadly. Thankfully, I don't have to mask that hard. Uh, not as hard as in day-to-day life. Things are pretty fine, but I have a lot of clients that it's hard just to go to the grocery store. It's hard just to walk outside. It's hard to live with their roommate. It's extremely hard to go to doctor's appointments. Thank God for telehealth these days, right? And allowing access, especially for folks that are ADHD is shit, and they don't want to call and they can just set it up online. I have so many students that it's so hard to function daily. I'm thinking of a couple sweet humans I got. It's maybe they love a certain hobby or thing, or maybe they love tournaments for video games and they can't go because it's so overwhelming, and they can't eat for the entire day. And people are like, oh, this is an eating disorder. This is not an eating. Oh my God. That fucking spider is huge, boy. Jesus Christ.
You gotta get a good crap.
Oh,
Get a
my...
good crap.
Spencer, what do I do?
I'd say kill it.
Die. Oh,
Murder.
I'm going to try and edit that out because that might be really loud, even because I'm not on my.
No, you're not editing nothing, man. I'm putting this into a reel. What are you talking about?
We can. I just don't want it to blow people's ears out. So
fair
in the
enough.
software that I have for OBS, it condenses everything into like a palatable thing. That fucking thing shot at me so fast. You have no idea.
Was it a tarantula?
That motherfucker's huge.
It's like, what is it, wolf spider? Those bad boys
Oof.
are scary.
Wolf spiders are
It's
poisonous
big one. That motherfucker's gonna
or
bite
venomous.
Yeah. All I know is I'm keeping my legs straight up for the rest of this pod.
Oh my God. Can you just pan down to see your legs into your chest right now?
The one is in the chest, yeah, and then the other one's just straight up. It's like 340 pounds, like directly in one spot in this chair. Yeah, and so I was just getting at it's just hard for a lot of folks to eat. I got to get back on track. It's hard for folks to eat, man. It's hard for folks to function. It's fucking terrible. And so sometimes it's strategizing on how do we function around these things. So I got humans eating at like 4 a.m, going back to sleep, then doing the thing that they have to have, so they have some nutrition. That way they don't go from like 8 o'clock at night all the way to 5 o'clock the next day. That's not right. It's intense. There's a lot of different things with shakes, water. There's so many different things that we work on to help people participate in society.
Students, poor babies. College is so fucking hard.
It's tough. It's very tough. Very, very tough. Especially for some of them are just the sweetest pie. They're like the sweetest individuals. Don't get me wrong, I have a couple of assholes that are on the spectrum too, but most of them are sweet as pie. Most of them, they're so sweet they give you diabetes.
Diabetes. All right.
Spence, you got any questions or thoughts to them?
So I guess last question. Nas brings this stat up a few times on our last couple pods where people who are on the spectrum might also be, there's a correlation between people who are on the spectrum, but then also queer as well. Do you see any correlation with that at all?
I think that there's going to be research studies done, and we're going to find most queer folks are probably autistic. I'm just saying big shit on the internet.
The biggest shit.
But no, I think a lot of queer folks, I think that's why I'd say gender, like folks who are like trans or, gender, have a different gender than assigned at birth. I think that's why we think outside the box. We don't like some rules we'll follow, but other rules don't make sense we're already the ones who are already the weird ones, you know what I mean? Like, but I see a lot of my folks, especially trans folks, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask that, because he says a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's true. I don't do research. I'm like, what? Oh,
I think I know people are working on this research. It has to be, there has to be a correlation. And I'm really curious to find out, because queerness they've also found is like a gender or a brain diversity.
Mhm.
So I'm just like really, really, really stoked to see what people come up with research and brains and all that. So
Yep. There is some small data that's out there. Obviously, there is a correlation. Not obviously, there is some books out there about autism and trans. There's a lot of folks that talk about it. There's some studies out there, but it's still in its infancies. So, like one of my homies said, being trans isn't an autistic thing, but there's a lot of folks that are autistic that are also trans or non-binary. And you'll see a lot of folks that you have higher rates than the general population of being trans, and also higher rates than the general population of being queer, gay, bi, pan, etc. It'll just be higher rates.
I think that you said it perfectly. It's not the autistic folks in general have a higher rate of being trans and queer. It's that trans and queer folks have a higher rate of being autistic. So like, just because your child is diagnosed with autism doesn't mean that they're going to grow up and be trans. It just might mean that your kid who's trans might grow up and find that they are autistic. So I think that you said that as a very, very good way to say it.
And so it's interesting to think about, Spence, because there's a lot of folks that are coming out as trans that are like famous. A lot of athletes' kids are coming out, and it makes you think: is this it's this parent that's this high-profile Hall of Fame athlete? Are they maybe neurodivergent, and their kid is, and thus that impacted some gender stuff? I don't know.
Well, think about someone who becomes a pro athlete. What type of special interest you would need to put yourself through that. I think that the folks who are like the Bill Gates and the pro athletes and the scientists and the researchers and the doctorates and the people who are very like into their field and like thrive at it, maybe they're not like making money and capitalist and famous and all that. Even just the people at home who like understand something so thoroughly, like we're the autistics. They need us. They need us.
No, society doesn't function without folks on the spectrum.
They need us.
Or Mexicans. I'm just putting that out there. So
I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican. We got it. We know.
It does not function without us. I'm speaking of I'm thinking of Dwayne Wade and their kid, Magic Johnson, right, and their kid. I'm thinking of a couple other famous individuals, right? I'm thinking of maybe Demi Lovato and Sam Smith, most likely also on the spectrum, also
Will
trans.
Smith?
Not
talk
Sam
about
Smith.
No,
Sam.
I know. No, I brought up Will Smith. Am I allowed to talk about him?
It's fine. I mean,
I grew up.
I used to love him, and then he just.
We all used to love Will, and then we found out they forced information on us I didn't want to know. I really didn't want to know all this stuff. I was
sick of his shit for a while, though. He was just in too much shit, man.
Yeah.
Why? What?
It's like Tom Brady. You just get sick of it.
Oh my gosh, you get sick of winning. That's what you get sick of.
I do.
No one cares about Tom Brady, right?
Oh well, don't say that in Tampa Bay or in New England, because they do.
Sometimes I like to do it just to see him get upset.
I love Tom Brady.
That 100% is your ADHD just fucking with people. You know that, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, saying to make people upset?
100%. That's ADHD.
That's hilarious.
Stirring the pot is ADHD.
Oh, I love stirring the pot.
The brain gets a little bored, and so you're like, let me fuck with this person.
Oh yeah, I'll call my mom and tell her crazy shit, get her really upset, and be like, okay, bye. And I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I enjoy this so much?
I'm gonna do it again tomorrow. Bye.
That's the reason why I like teasing people. Like, my clients would be like, can you say this to me? I was like, I just did.
I know. I've told clients before, like several, I'm like, don't kill yourself because it'll really fuck me up. Okay. Like it'll really fuck me up and traumatize me. And this is actually about me.
I've done the sarcasm. Obviously, you have to say, with some folks who be like, this is obviously super
I
sarcasm.
say that. I'm like, I'm absolutely joking right now. You're gonna be okay. We got this. But I've said it a couple people.
But at the
Well,
same
some
Do
of
time,
that, you'll freak me out.
Yeah, see, I probably go the opposite way. They'd be like, Nas, you would miss me. I was like, I don't even fucking know who you are, man. Just send them the Thanos meme.
Sometimes they need
I
that
don't.
though. They need that.
Oh, yeah.
You need
Oh,
to just
yeah.
laugh about it, right?
Oh, 100%.
laugh and then
Movie having
cry.
a good. Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's an ADHD thing. So it's like fidgeting to focus, like you're doing now, and like I've been doing the whole time.
Yeah, right.
Stirring the pot is also part of it. Me and Spence do it quite often, and we enjoy it with each other, with others.
Yeah.
There was one time last Halloween we were doing a baby shower for my boy,
Oh yeah,
and we were in the hotel room
cracking
from
up.
midnight till like 3 a.m, just talking about the dumbest shit on earth. My boy, my best friend, he don't talk a lot, right? He's one of the neurodivergent folks that does not talk much, and I've never seen him angry. He goes, "Will you shut the fuck up?"
It was the greatest thing ever.
It was intense.
was
He's
so
like,
funny.
"What are we talking about right now?" He's, "Are we literally talking about crack and chicken?" I said,
Yep.
"Yeah, crack chicken.
That's right, crack
We're
chicken.
gonna, we're gonna feed crack to chickens, and then we're gonna sell it."
And then we're gonna eat the chicken. So dumb. So dumb.
He was so fucking mad. It's been 1 year. 1 year.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Wow. It has. Jeez, time flies, doesn't it?
Time flies.
Where he got totally wow. Yeah. Totally
He was
shit.
pissed.
Oof.
Completely shit faced. That was
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, that was actually pretty bad. When you said he almost drowned, I was like, holy shit.
He likes to, when he gets drunk and he's like hungover the next day, or he's just drunk in general, he likes to sleep like in the tub or like in the shower. So he went to the hotel room, turned on the shower, and almost drowned in like a small shower. Like,
But the
literally
thing,
almost
yeah, it
drowned
was a
himself.
standing shower. Like it wasn't
Standing
a
shower,
tub.
and he almost drowned.
It was a standing like shower.
Like
It
a
made no
90s
sense.
music video.
Just-
That's a scene I haven't. Do you see your autistic brains? You see everything in like movies in your brain?
yes.
I do.
Yeah, me too. It's
I
great
do.
for being a therapist.
That's why we do this show as well, though, because it's giving people visuals.
Yeah.
So they'll tell me shit, and now I have another visual. By the way, I remember DMing you, and you immediately be like, "I can't wait to do this. This is fucking awesome. This is cool." I got that from a few other counselors that are on the spectrum too, but you were one of the first to be like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" And I was like, "You have no idea." I would literally like, "Dad, the people identify with me. I feel so good and validated." He's like, "Get the
Really
fuck
said it
out of
like
here."
that.
I told my spouse, I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck these people are, but this is the best idea I've literally ever heard of. This is so good. My spouse
It
is
was
like,
wonderful. Literally, I went to my father. You know, father's disabled, lives with me. Brother's disabled, not disabled. Brother lives with me as well. And I went over and told him, like, "This is fucking awesome. This is how people are supposed to respond to things, to be excited about things, to have fun with us."
yeah.
And
I mean, this
also,
is the way to do a
we can
podcast. This is the only type of podcast I would care about.
yeah, and we promote your stuff. You'll get some followers. We get some followers. People will get the healing. You get the healing. You get the healing. You get the healing. Mm-hmm. We played to the flying spaghetti monster. My boss actually said it's a real thing, and there's like research and like articles on it. Yeah, it's like a real spiritual thing.
What is?
The flying spaghetti monster.
You're just an ass. I don't believe you.
No, swear to fucking God, he told me it's like a whole.
I'm gonna take you literally right now because it's
I
late, but then I'm like, am I taking you literally because you are being literal or because you're joking? And I'm not.
No,
Exactly.
I'm.
You never know with
fucking
him.
God.
He's lying. He's definitely lying.
Whatever. All right, real quick.
I'm
Do you
gonna
have any
go
seasonings?
and I'm gonna Google it immediately after. Oh my God, I heard about this
Google
spaghetti
it.
monster.
Yeah,
You just
flying
get DM.
spaghetti
Fuck
monster.
you, Nas. You
I'm gonna have to
lie.
practice this. Do you have any seasoning? Any lemon pepper you want to put on this chicken today for us?
Lemon
This
pepper
steak?
whip.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a black thing.
Wait, you can't do that to me.
I'm sorry.
What is? You got any salt? any salt to put on this?
Dude, what do white people use? Do you use
Basil?
salt, or you just put the chicken in there and you just eat it?
I get my food delivered from Cook Unity because
Okay.
I have ADHD and I can't make myself food.
You know
But
what? That is the new white person thing, isn't it? It's like
It
not
is.
even salt. It's just like I order food. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, literally, I can't. No one taught me how to cook, and
It's
my
completely
executive
fine.
functioning skills, I just cannot.
It's fine. So, do you have anything right? Because the food has been cooked, prepared. The seasoning is the last thing that you may put on it. If you're in a house of family. Wait a minute.
House of family.
I think
A family of color household. We put the seasoning before, after, during, while you eating it on the fork, all types of shit.
Yeah.
We all got high blood pressure. Is there any toppings that you want to put on the salad to finish it off? What do you want folks to know? What do you want to leave people with?
Okay. Yeah. Do I talk? I don't know. I guess I feel like I've already said a lot, but the biggest theme through all of this is that if you think you might have autism and you can't access a diagnosis because it's really expensive, like trust your own assessment of yourself. A lot of people can walk around and self-diagnose as depressed.
Yeah.
Self-diagnosed with anxiety. This is an actual brain functioning. This is how your brain is structured and how it functions. You know yourself, trust yourself. And if you can't know for sure, then start accommodating for sensory stuff anyway. Start trying out stims or letting stims out that you feel happening in your body, learning your boundaries, and just know you aren't alone and you don't have to suffer that. Maybe you're not a complete fuck up and weirdo and you suck at being human. Maybe you're just autistic in a nihilistic world that's forcing us all to be in the same box, and we get to be free and celebrated in autistic bliss. And I hope you find that and see that in this show.
Okay.
All right. And
Thank you.
what are your socials for the people out there?
I tried TikTok. I can't. It's not interesting. So I do Instagram, and it's all for the dopamine.
Okay. All for the
I'll do anything for dopamine.
fair enough.
What is your handle so people can find you?
I didn't. Oh, it is. That's right. It is. It's
all
for the
for
dopamine. All for the dopamine. I thought you were literally saying I do it for the dopamine, and that is
I
it.
do it for the dopamine, but it's
Oh, wait a minute. It's literally.
Yes, it
called
literally
all
is.
for the dopamine?
Yes.
No fucking way. Well, that
One
was
word,
an
all
autism
for the
moment there.
dopamine.
Jesus.
So my
Okay.
handle is all for the dopamine.
There you go.
And I talk about OCD, ADHD, and autism. And and my thing is being authentic, your authentic, relatable therapist.
Do you also have a website or anything like that where people can
Yeah,
sign
I do
up
have a
to be your
website.
therapist?
I'm full on my caseload right now, but I do take folks on waitlist, and it's rainbowcounselingcollective.com.
There you go.
Okay.
We will be having the link.
For the queers. But I like everyone. Everyone can come. I have non-queer clients too, and they're great. I love them.
You're straight? How dare you? It's just a face.
Get out.
It's just a face.
Leave this Zoom call.
They're like the sweetest little allies. They're like, "Oh, you're getting top surgery? Yay!" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I love you. You're so cute."
But we will put that information in the
description.
and the content on YouTube description. It'll be everywhere. It'll be in all the posts. I'll tag you in some stuff so it'll go plop on your page so your followers can find this very easily. This pod, well, it doesn't really matter for these folks listening because it'll be live when it's live, but this will go live towards the end of November.
Okay, I get my top surgery November 27th, so maybe I'll be laying in bed watching myself on a screen dying a little bit. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. We actually had somebody on who had top surgery as well. Sunny.
Recently.
yeah, I
Sunny
can't fucking wait. You're talking about boob sweat, and I'm like, not gonna have that in a month. Having
Just
that.
chest.
Yeah.
Chest sweat.
Yeah. Yeah, we
All
were just
right,
talking.
y'all.
We were just talking to Sunny, and they had it. But yeah, Spence, take us away. Finish this out.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us on the show today. Shout out to all of our collaborators. Go check out our merch. It's great, great stuff. And thank you so much, Adrienne, for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it. It was very, very educational and just fun. It was a fun show.
I agree. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. And with that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas. This is a different spectrum. podcast.
All right, everyone. As you know, much love and take care of yourself.
Or don't.
And that's completely up to you. Peace.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot we're not on OBS. So I just hit
Jackass.
don't record.
No.
Stop recording.
Yeah.
Tell me what you